Let's go!
Badass.
Jordan Love got slammed on Twitter for this practice performance. At the end, I'm going to give you one big red flag from this, but TLDR, this wasn't really too bad at all. Let's hit the tape. We start off here with the very simple pitch and catch. We want to take that every time. But we then get to the first sack of the evening. This is second-year tackle Jordan Love going up against Lucas Van Ness, another young pick that they are hoping to get more out of. You can see that Jordan Love is trying to work Romeo Doubs right here. There is a guy just sitting right there waiting to make a play on it. You can't really see him. He's right behind Doubs. Sure, a throw could have been fit in there. So now Jordan Love is looking to work to the right side, and Jordan Morgan is in his lap. So this is going to be a sack 99% of the time. So this right here was kind of a weird rep. First off, there is some pressure coming off from the top of the screen right here. Obviously, it looks like that's Zach Tom, who's getting pile drove pretty far back. He does do a good job of resetting and ending up winning the rep. Jordan Love kind of backing up, just throws a tough ball into Golden, who makes a very difficult grab here. So we get to the next play, and one of my more controversial opinions is that I do feel the best pick in fantasy of this Packers wide receiver core is indeed Romeo Doubs, right? He's the cheapest of, to me, the big three Packers wide receivers, and you could draft him now on Fast Draft Fantasy. Use my promo code Carter for a deposit match bonus up to $50. So Jordan Love makes a good completion on the out. The receiver or the tight end, Musgrave, did a good job stacking in that man-to-man alignment to give Doubs separation. Right here, you do get a mesh concept. Obviously, I can't see the down and distance, but it's a first and goal-ish play. And, of course, this is some really sexy quarterbacking right here from Jordan Love. So right here on mesh, this is obviously the most common variation of mesh. It is mesh rail. So in man-to-man, this running back is normally a pretty good option, but this is straight zone, and the best zone beater on mesh is the actual hook being run over the middle. So Jordan Love, instead of throwing this ball to Musgrave, which would have also been profitable, he does indeed throw this football right here to Jayden Reed for a first down. So I was able to catch the yard marker here. It is 3rd and goal. And this is going to be something I saw Mina Kimes bring up in a podcast conversation.
I think Jordan Love's lack of mobility is a huge problem.
They decide to double team Jayden Reed right here over the middle. Could Jordan Love have put this ball in on Jayden Reed? And the answer to that is yes. Okay, this should have been ripped right here for an easy touchdown. Jordan Love decides to not do it, which is a little bit more inexcusable in a practice setting, but he decides to not throw this football. Now, we get to here, because it is man-to-man and you see this linebacker's back, the next thing you want to do in an actual game, and once again, Mina Kimes brought this up in a podcast.
He has 5.5 rush yards per game. That's behind Aaron Rodgers.
I do think this rush lane collapses, but if he would have tucked a little bit earlier and not so deep into this drop, I think he could have got through there for a waltz in tutty. But this should have been run up the middle if you're not going to throw that, but it is indeed practice. Can't get hit anyway, so Jordan Love decides to just throw this football over here, and it is indeed incomplete. Now, we get to a really rough rep right here from Love. It's just tough. You do need to throw this football to the corner of the end zone. There is a lot of green grass, and you're running a corner route. This DB's back is to you now. This just needs to be ripped right here. He then sees this open up over the middle. He decides to not rip this here either. I don't know exactly why. So instead, he decides to eat this, gets happy feet, and, well, he throws it super late, and it's incomplete. Let's have a conversation here about Matthew Golden.
Man, I think he's shown up since day one, and and just really showing his play style. He came in really polished and has been making plays since day one. He's got very aggressive hands. He's a smooth route runner. He's got speed. So I think for him, it's just continue to understand the playbook and wrap his head around everything that we have in, because we have a very deep system. But when you can see when he knows what he's doing, he's feeling confident. He's been playing lights out.
So I love that Love is putting confidence into the mind of Matthew Golden. We've been showing you some of this rep. You know, I think he could have done a better job hand fighting and getting this DB off of him. You also would have liked to have seen that 4.29 speed separate a little bit better here. I think all things considered, this throw by Jordan Love isn't too bad. You would like to think with Golden speed he would have ran under this, but 16 getting physical with him slowed him down. So that just comes with time, like obviously Jordan Love said in that great interview with Kevin Clark. The GOAT Kevin Harlan giving an interview. You love to see it. Okay? Good job right here by Love to get an easy completion to start this drive off there. Obviously in the game, Romeo Doubs very well could make him miss and it become an even bigger down. We get an outside zone handoff. This is where you really do see the Shanahan lineage, if you will, the McVay lineage in Matt LaFleur's offense. And, well, you get a nice little throw into the flats. Very simple stuff. We then get to the next rep. And it is indeed another play-action fake. And you get a little lucky that one DT falls to the ground. That's always really good for you. So, yes, you can't hit him, but I do think he would have been able to get this ball off in an actual game. And this is just not a good throw at all. I mean, just way overshot Romeo Doubs in the spot, and it is indeed incomplete. Now, please give this video a like and subscribe, baby. Let's go, Packer Nation. I'm not a fan of you guys, but, you know, go on. I grew up Aaron Rodgers, Brett Favre. Take a sack here by Jordan Love, and obviously you throw it late over the middle. He would have been sacked in an actual game. And now we get to here, 5-wide set. Everything gets picked up. This is really good quarterbacking right here from Jordan Love. Gets the easy completion over the middle. Then we have trips to the right side here. And let's see what happens. Okay. Obviously, this receiver is just absolutely smothered, and it's picked off. All right, so I wasn't the biggest Matthew Golden fan in the pre-draft process. Here he is versus press man yet again, and this time the corner is just all over this, right? You have him what looks to be flat-footed at first, and Jordan Love decides to throw this up, but the corner is able to stay on top of this route. Matthew Golden gets stacked by the DB, and this ends up being a pretty easy interception. Not the best route by Matthew Golden, not great quarterbacking either, but give some credit to the Packers defense, okay? Looks like you have a screen action to the bottom, and Jordan Love decides to work the smash concept to the top of the screen. Well, it wasn't even smash. There was a little bit of a inbreaker right there, and Golden gets a good catch. Hopefully that is good for his confidence. You know, how could a player with a name like Matthew Golden fail for a team with gold in their color scheme? Come on now. Obviously, Jordan Love would have been sacked, or he would have thrown this football away. I'm not sure if anything's open. I don't have the All-22. I'm just using what this footage gave us, and it is obviously incomplete. Trying to remember what happens here. One thing you did see throughout was Jordan Love needing to back up because of all the bull rush that was given up by this offensive line. Hits 18 on the shallow drag. I think that is Malik Heath. Once again, I'm not a Packers expert by any stretch of the imagination, but I do have an SEC background, and I very much remember Malik freaking Heath, who has shown some flashes during his brief career in the NFL. Just don't Google Malik Keith, Lockheed Martin. Don't do it. Don't worry, it's not anything like bad, but it's bad. Okay? Let's see. Deep dig right here. Man, dude, Romeo Doubs is just a good football player. I mean, there's just nothing else other to really say other than you should be drafting him a lot. I do think it's going to be wheels up for this Packers offense. You know, there's a lot of fantasy experts that are saying, hey, you're going to see a higher pass rate. Obviously, in a game, I do think Jordan Love's just hitting Josh Jacobs on that check down, throws a jump ball up in the air, and it should have been picked. So we get a throwaway here in the red zone, and then after that, a nice little back shoulder to Matthew Golden. Okay, this time the protection was actually fine. That would have been defensive holding on Lucas Van Ness, but it's whatever. Yeah, I am concerned about these Jordan Love red zone reps, you know, where the field compresses. Love has made some absolute laser throws in his career in this portion of the field. I do expect Tucker Kraft to be a big part of the offense. And once again, this is just beautiful. And look, I'm going to be patient with Matthew Golden. I wasn't the biggest fan of the pick, but you guys let me know what you think down below. Floating in your face some other fun videos, and we'll talk to you soon, baby. It is Power Hour NFL. Boom! And tonight, we're doing cheesy enchiladas.